And we're singing. We're singing. Dun, 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 dun. Time to talk. Beauty and the Bitch. Mick.
Morgan.
Can you please just come with me? I have the most fun thing in the world to do. It's so fun. It's so fun. Let's go and do it. And it's no big deal. It's whatever.
Normally when people try to get me to do things and they build it up that much is something I really don't want to do.
No, it's going to be fun. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to rob a bank. We are going to fly to Greece with all of our money.
Okay.
Oh, girl, we're going to live on a Greece island.
Yeah, they're in austerity there.
Okay, but then the police are definitely coming for us. So after we're there and we're having fun, but as soon as you hear the sirens, we got to go. We got to go.
Go where?
You got to find a way back.
To
Narnia. We got to get back. We got to get the opening. Like, I don't know if we're going to bring the wardrobe with us. Like, will customs let us bring that? Or, like, is there an alternate method?
I mean, if we're, like, super rich, I'm sure we could get it there. But, I don't know. I feel like Narnia kind of calls you back when you're supposed to come back, not when it's most, like, appropriate for you.
I'm going to bring these red slippers just in case. Like, maybe that could be
that's like a whole different thing.
I don't
That's
get
like,
it.
it's not even, so what you're talking about right now is The Wizard of Oz.
No.
And as we know from the 1988 movie Return to Oz, I don't know if that's when it came out, you do not want to return to Oz, honey.
Once you
shit's
out,
rough.
you out.
And frankly, shit's rough when you return to Narnia, too.
Yeah, but it's still Narnia.
It is still Narnia.
You're still a fucking queen.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a queen. You're a talking mouse or some kind of thing, but...
I'm like a red dwarf.
Yeah, oh, no! Better red than black. Not my fault, I'm not racist. Just the black dwarves are not very good.
It's just the cat, yeah.
The black dwarves are, like, not winners, you know? So... Welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Bitch. I'm Mick.
And I'm Morgan.
Ooh, and you're so hydrated.
Oh my god, I'm so thirsty. We're both, like, trash people who are, like, a little sick all the time recently.
Excuse me?
You rolled your eyes at me when we sat around and talked about, like, Metamucil like a bunch of 98-year-old fucking ladies. We is old. We got problems. I need this water right now.
I might be an old lady, but I'm not a trash old lady.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I might be a trashy old lady, but that's different.
It is very different.
So today we're talking about kind of the trash of Narnia, I would say, Prince Caspian, which is the second book, publication-wise.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. It's not a fan favorite. It's not super, like, well-beloved. And it made the cut of adaptations because when they started to make the films, you know, they got to go in chronological order. So they made it because it's the second one.
Well, they went in publication order.
Right. Yeah, not chronological. But I wonder if people, I don't know if it was better received or worse received. Because Mick rewatched the film. I haven't seen it in many years, but I remember being like, they changed so much. And also, like, it wasn't good.
Yeah. You know, the problem is, I was listening to RuPaul talk about Christy Brinkley's plastic surgery earlier today.
Go on.
She's had a shit ton of plastic surgery, Christy Brinkley. She looks fucking amazing. It doesn't look bad. But what RuPaul...
Interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing. She's like in her 60s and she fucking looks 30. It's not an exaggeration. But what Christy Brinkley was saying about RuPaul, this all tracks back, is that if you're doing, say, house renovations... It's good to have a good contractor, right? That's very important. A good plastic surgeon, a good director, whatever. But it's also really helpful if you have good bones.
Yeah.
If the house has good bones, if your face has a good structure like Christy Brinkley's does, it's a lot easier to make it beautiful. The problem with this Prince Caspian debacle, bad bones, bad adaptation, I think. And the same director did the second movie as did the first one, I believe. His name is... Dun-dun-dun-dun. Da 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 da. I can't find it.
And we're going.
Andrew Adamson.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, good old Andrew Adamson.
Yeah,
he directed that other thing.
Yeah, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I think is. Oh my God, he's a horror. Oh, he directed Shrek and Shrek 2, as well as the first two Chronicles of Narnia, and he also directed Mr. Pip.
Oh, it was, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, is that one of your faves?
Classic.
And then he's been announced to direct Curious George upcoming. But anyway.
Oh, that's going to be a big hit.
I think Prince Caspian kind of fucked up his career, to be honest with you. So, as Morgan said, I did rewatch this movie. It came out in, May of 2008, and it was the last that was co-produced by Disney before Fox took over the Narnia movies. And y'all, this movie sucks. It sucks.
I mean, the first one wasn't great,
but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was pretty enough for me to forgive it, is the way I felt about it generally.
Sure.
And then, what's her face?
Lucy.
Lucy, please. No,
Tilda.
Tilda Swinton. I mean, goddess.
She's goddess. Well, what's interesting about, it's interesting that this movie sucks anyways, but what's interesting is that, one of the worst things I remember about it is the rivalry that they created with Prince Caspian and, Peter.
Yes.
That was so, unnecessary. Because, there are no love that, it's not like a love interest quarrel. It's just bro, chill. Both of you.
Well, Lord. Okay, I hardly even know where to start because there's so... since we started there, let's talk about additions. Because we've talked about... Okay, so, the Narnia books are all short. Prince Caspian is probably one of the sparsest plot-wise. Not that much happens, really.
Which feels like a missed opportunity because when you return... Because Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe almost could have been a standalone.
Sure.
It's a fine thing on its own. Most people only think of this series as that one story because it is so, complete, Mm-hmm. So, when you're oh, no, you can return and this is the big return that you're going to be witnessing... There could be a lot more with that, especially when they skip 1,300 years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In Narnia, it's 1 year in
for them
Earth, 1,300 Narnia years.
Yeah. So, in case you're not familiar, we're gonna spoil this movie. I'm so sorry if that breaks your heart, but come on, get. But
this book was written circa 1949, so
51.
You've had a minute.
Yeah, you had a minute, and you really should have read it before now. And if you haven't read it, I really don't think you're gonna.
You're not missing.
That's just the way I feel. Okay, so first of all, the 4 Pevensey kids, they come back to Narnia, right? And I will say, I think it's really powerful. They look around, and they're in these ruins, which are the ruins of their castle. And I do think that is really sweet and sad. There's a moment where Lucy's so all the badgers are dead? And all of our friends are dead? And it's yeah, girl, it's 1,300 years later, everybody dead. Everybody dies. Even in Narnia, everybody dies.
Yeah.
Except for the White Witch, evidently, but that's...
Okay, she's got Christy Brinkley's plastic surgeon.
Girl, I guess so. Yeah. Good bones. Good bones. Okay, so the Pevensey kids come back to Narnia, and in the meantime, there's been an invasion by the Telmarines, who are...
Yes. Oh, and isn't this, notably, one of the, the only book where, people rule Narnia? People are the predominant,
Well, yeah, well, no, not really. I mean, well, for one thing, the Pevensey kids are all people. Yeah. Right? I mean, it's strange. It's always people in charge of Narnia where I'm let the talking bears be in charge. You know
right? They're
I mean?
the obvious choice, to be honest.
Yeah. If they would stop sucking their fucking paws and get up in there.
I mean, Aslan could have been a diplomat.
Girl, why not? Or just why does it have to be white kids? But whatever. It's fine. It's fine. The horse and his boy is very people-centric. Yeah. And, but it's notable because it feels almost like a history. Mm-hmm. Because it's about, an army invades Narnia, and then that army sets up, and they become dictators, they're the Telmarines. And it's Caspian, Prince Caspian of the title, the eponymous Prince Caspian, his great-great-great-grandfather is the first Caspian who does the invasion, but they're pirates from our world. Mm-hmm. That's where the Telmarines come from.
Yes, they have come from Earth.
So they're baddies or whatever. They are notably dark-skinned, which normally I wouldn't mention, except it's very important because, as we know, the Pevensey kids are lily white.
Yeah.
And so, it's notable that there are dark-skinned people in Narnia. Something that will come up as we get into the later books. The Horse and His Boy is essentially just I like the book, but super racist. Mm-hmm. It's super racist.
That's problematic.
Well, when we get there, that will be problematic, my queen. Yeah, it genuinely is. He had some racist stuff he needed to work through. But, so it's the Pevensey kids come back, the Telmarines are, running Narnia, and they're, afraid of everything that makes Narnia beautiful. They've run the talking animals into, the woods, the dwarves are gone, the dryads are asleep. It's just, a lame-ass country at this point. And then Prince Caspian is almost killed by his uncle, Miraz.
Fucking uncles, man.
Usurper to the throne, my queen. They're never good. So this is very Hamlet-y in its way. And anyway, Miraz has a son. Prince Caspian is almost killed. He flees the castle where he grew up. He meets some old Narnians, like, a badger and a couple of dwarves.
And they were like, we like you.
Yeah, eventually. The Black Dwarf, Nickabrick, he's not too into it, but he comes around. By the way, do you remember who plays Nickabrick in the movie?
Lord, no.
Does the name Warwick Davis ring any bells?
Yes. Is he from Harry Potter?
Yeah, he is in Harry Potter. He plays
the Goblin?
Must be Griphook, maybe?
Yeah, Griphook.
He also is Willow from the Willow movies in the 80s. That's where I know him from. So anyway, he plays Nickabrick, the Black Dwarf or Evil Dwarf. Do you happen to remember who plays Trumpkin? This is a fucking shocker, because he's come up in the world.
Is it Peter Dinklage?
It is Peter fucking Dinklage. I've never
seen... He went through a lot of dwarf roles before he found, like, the dwarf role.
Girl, it's rough. It's rough for those men of smaller stature.
It is.
And I never see... The women even more so. You hardly ever see them in anything. The men get some play, but the women really don't.
I know.
Smaller
it's a sad world.
Peter Dinklage fucking hates this movie. And he hates his role, and it is so obvious the entire time. I've never seen him do so little acting, honestly.
He was just, like, drunk the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, this was before Game of Thrones, so it's like, he's happy to have it, I'm sure. But it was not an inspiring role for him. So, Trumpkin finds the Pevensey kids. He brings them back to Caspian, who's collected an army of old Narnians and is fighting Miraz, his uncle, and the Telmarines. And they fight, and it's over. That's essentially it. I mean, that's really pretty much it, It's very... You know what it reminds me of? The Aeneid was one of my foci, was a focus of mine when I was in college. And the Aeneid, is an ancient tale by Virgil. It's an ancient poem. And it's essentially based upon the Odyssey and the Iliad, which were the two extant great works before the Aeneid. What's interesting, though, is the Aeneid follows first the Odyssey, Odysseus trying to get home, the voyage, all the monsters, everything. And then it goes into the Iliad, where Aeneas finally gets to Italy and he has to fight all of the natives in the area. So it's half journey, half war. What's fascinating is books 2 and 3, Prince Caspian and Voyage of the Dawn Treader from Chronicles of Narnia. Yep. It's very similar, except it's switched. Yeah. It's a book about war, and then it's a book about the journey, the Odyssey, where they go off and see all these things. And Caspian's even a main character in both. So I think that had to have been conscious. Because C.S. Lewis and all of them, they all studied the classics. They knew all these stories. So anyway, that's just a thing I thought about. But
so... you have summed up the basic plot of it or
that's
whatever.
It, pretty much, yeah.
But then a really big thing happens at the end when they go back. When they go back to Earth, and then Lucy and Edmund learn that Susan and Peter, they've aged out. Yeah, they too old to go back to Narnia, which I think is a fascinating concept. That really mirrors that you lose your inner child as you get older, and your ability to believe in such things, and that's such a fantasy trope that is repeated time and time again. But just I can't remember the parameters of why they can't go back, but just leaving something magical and not being able to return and being conscious of that must be a much more deeply painful thing than what's described in this book.
It is. You know what? So this is my second least favorite Narnia book. Out of the 7, this is number 6 for me as far as what is good. The Last Battle is my least favorite. And I think a big part of the reason was I remember crying when I found that out as a child. Fuck Susan. Nobody likes Susan. But
oh my God, we take such a stance.
Everyone.
No one likes Susan.
C.S. Lewis wrote Susan as a freakishly unlikable person. You know what? I fucking realized. And maybe I knew this and forgot. Okay, she sucks in the movie. She sucks in the book. They didn't add any suckage to Susan. She sucked the way she was written, okay? There are 2 things that she really fucks up in this book. First, I don't know if you remember this, Morgie. At one point, they're out walking on a beach after they find Trumpkin, and they see a bear. And Lucy's stupid ass, I love Lucy, but she's stupid, though. She is stupid, though. She walks up there, and she's like, hello, with her gap teeth. And the bear's, like, growling at her. And she's like, don't be afraid, I'm your... Because she thinks it's a talking bear.
Yeah.
Well, girl, it's been 1,300 years.
It's just a bear.
It's just a fucking bear. And so the bear starts charging at her. She screams and runs away and immediately falls in the sand like a fucking loser. And Susan's there with a fucking bow. Ain't shooting, never shoots. Finally, Trumpkin shoots the bear when it's like an inch from Lucy's face. Word up to Susan, her little sister would have been mauled by a fucking bear.
And maybe that's exactly how she wanted it.
Maybe so, because Lucy gets all the love.
Yeah, because Lucy's
Aslan's
a sweet
favorite.
baby girl.
She's both the brothers prefer Lucy to Susan.
Obviously.
And obviously C.S. Lewis does.
I think Susan prefers Lucy to Susan.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. Okay, so that's the first bad thing. And then, when they're trying to get to Prince Caspian, they'd be walking all over Narnia. There's a lot there, but I'm not going to go into it. It's detailed and it's boring. But she ignores Aslan. Because there's a part where Lucy, being the young, favorite of Aslan, she sees Aslan. He's telling her to go a certain way. And no one believes her but Edmund. Edmund gets his fucking redemption in this book. Edmund is a fucking boss. And then next...
He's like, sorry about that Turkish delight.
Yeah, I didn't know. The Turkish delight pulled me in, but, like, I've learned my lesson. At one point he even says, like, do you remember what happened the last time none of us believed Lucy? She was right, And Peter and Susan are like, me. And they don't listen. And then in the movie, they made Peter way worse in the movie than he is in the book. In the movie, Peter's like, but why wouldn't I have seen Aslan? And Lucy's like... Fuck you, I don't know why, but I saw him, Anyway, but then later, after they go one way and it turns out bad, they have to go the other way, and then they see why Aslan wanted them to go that way, whatever. They're going to sleep, and Susan's like, why didn't I see Aslan? And Lucy's like, I'm not certain. And then Susan's like, you know what? I did see Aslan, but I ignored him. Like, I don't know why, but I just didn't want to follow him. She's essentially turning, like, evil. She's become, like, an evil adult person or whatever.
Yeah.
She fucking sucks. She sucks. Did you know she doesn't go to heaven in the Chronicles of Narnia? Did you know?
What do you elaborate?
Well, so we'll get more into this when we get to book 7, but there are 7 friends of Narnia. The 3 Pevensies, not including Susan. This is Susan's last time ever in Narnia. She never gets to come back. And, the other Pevensey kids do, and and people we meet in later books who we haven't met yet in the podcast here. They all get to come back and live in Aslan's country, which is like Narnia heaven.
Right.
But Susan doesn't. Susan never comes back. I think in book 7, we'll get there, but it says something like she became more interested in lipstick and boys or something like that. Essentially slut-shaming, really,
Man.
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis was scorned by a lady named Susan.
I guess so. He fucking hates Susan, and that is the truth. I mean, he fucking sent her to hell.
That's crazy.
Narnia hell. So, I mean, fuck Susan. But she's horrible. She's absolutely horrible in this movie, and she's the worst part of the book. By far.
Not shocking.
No, she's the Morgan of the Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay, if
I meant to say
knew
Momo.
enough...
I'm sorry. I meant to say Scary Momo.
We're not talking about Scary Momo because Scary Momo needs to die, so
but we talked about
Momo's
our
everywhere
last
can
episode.
live.
Momo. It's
Well,
a Momo challenge.
Which doesn't mean she belongs in hell.
It's just like a candid photo of you. I don't think it's that bad, girl.
You are trash.
I think it looks really good. I thought you were going to call me trans. I was like, girl, now that's problematic.
That's
not an insult.
problematic.
That's problematic. Okay, so you mentioned they added in a bunch of action sequences to the movie.
Yeah.
Girl, the raid on Miraz's castle, which happens like 3/4 of the way through. As you said, that's not in the book. It's fine. I know we have to add stuff, but girl, that action sequence is 20 fucking minutes long. And it's all made up.
It's so overboard. And that movie is probably already like way longer than it should ever be. They
did not need that shit.
Yeah.
This could have been a real cute hour-long movie. Like, why stretch it out? There's no point.
Yeah.
They also add, I don't know if you remember, but there is a Susan and Caspian romance.
Yes, I do remember. And I always, I remember when I saw the movie, I was like, is Peter mad about that? Because, stop.
Yeah.
Why?
I think Peter in the movie is just mad because he wants to be the boss. I mean, in the books, it's different. He's super supportive of Caspian. He literally, one of the first things he says to Caspian in the books is I used to be king, but now I'm just here to make sure you get your throne. Or it's he's so supportive.
Yeah.
But in the movie, girl, it's like a pissing contest. And it's not cute.
Yeah.
It's not cute. But, I like Caspian and Susan together. Because after all, They say that Susan picked boys in lipstick. Well, give her something.
Yeah, give her one, dude.
Yeah. And Caspian, he's played by old Ben Barnes. Do you remember him?
Yeah, he fine.
Oh my God. I know him from Logan in Westworld, is how I know of him.
Oh.
He's so sexy in Westworld.
Oh.
I know. Fine as fuck.
Yeah, he's fine.
Fuckable.
He's fine.
So I say give Susan some of that dick, girl. Some of that Narnia dick.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
She should, you know what she should have done? Is she should have had a hybrid baby. And that, hybrid. Like a mixed race baby. Though, I guess the Telemarines are really from America, so it wouldn't really work. But I would just love for her to have a Narnia baby. You know what I mean? Like, give the bitch something. She's going to hell. She ain't never coming back to Narnia. She can't shoot a bear. What does she have? Give her a baby. Give her some dick. That's what I say.
I agree with that completely. And also, like, Caspian was so hot. Like,
So
who
hot.
could blame Susan?
But you know what's interesting? Well, first of all, Ben Barnes' accent, atrocious. That boy is from every country in Europe during this movie. Like, he said that he based his Spanish accent from Spain, on, what's his name, Montoya from Princess Bride?
I am Inigo Montoya.
Yes! You have...
Killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die. So that was what he based his accent on, which is one of the reasons it's so fucking horrible.
Sure.
Horrible accent. But I do like that they made him Spanish because that allows him to be brown.
Mm-hmm,
and for a bunch of brown people to be in the... I mean, I know Spanish people are technically white, I guess, but they're dark-skinned white people.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah, they can be. And Ben Barnes is pretty dark, you know.
Yeah, he is.
Because otherwise, originally for the movie, it's not really... They're just described as pirates in the book. So it could be whatever you want. Brown skin pirates. But in the movie, they were originally going to make them French. And it was going to be like French high court fashion.
Ooh.
Fabulous. But then they couldn't get where they wanted to film in France. They couldn't get. I forget where. And so then their plan B was some beautiful place in Spain. And that's why they made them Spanish.
Hey, well, there you go. Transition.
People were mad about it. But I was like, girl, I don't think there's anything to be mad about personally. They think it's problematic.
I mean, there's already so many other problems. It's like potato.
Exactly.
Like,
this is a small problem.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember... I've got 2 quizzies for you. Do you remember who plays Reepicheep? This blew my fucking mind. I did not guess it. I didn't write. Eddie Izzard.
What?
Yes, my queen. Yes. And I love it because you know what? He doesn't play Reepicheep as gay, which... There's no reason why he should. But, Eddie Izzard is known for, not gayness, but queerness.
Yeah.
But he plays that as a fucking butch-ass mouse.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Hell yeah.
And do you remember who plays Aslan?
Liam Neeson's.
Yes, I love me some Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Oh, Liam Neeson's.
Yeah, apparently he's problematic right now, too, but I haven't looked into it.
Oh, why?
No one is safe. Everyone's done something horrible. His thing might be racism. I'm not really sure.
Oh, it's from Green Book. It's from Green Book. He said the N-word.
No, he wasn't in that movie, was he?
Oh, you're right. That was Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen. Oh, maybe it was Liam Neeson's. I think maybe Viggo Mortensen said the N-word. Wait, I'm going to read about it.
He probably did in that movie. Because that movie was during an era.
Star of the Taken franchise. Oh, once fantasized about murdering a black man in retribution for the rape of his friend. I went up and down areas with a bludgeon, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that, he told somebody sometime. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some, quote-unquote, black bastard, end quote, would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, so that I could, ... kill him. Well... Why is he telling
there's that piece of information. Yeah, why would you say that?
Why, yeah, I'm unsure why he even opened up about that, because that's one of those things, it's like, but that's a thought, you didn't do it, though.
Yeah, people need to take all the things they know are bad about themselves that the public doesn't need to know, and you bury those deep.
Put it in a box.
And you just bury it deep down inside.
And tie the bow real tight.
And you never, ever tell anyone.
Nope.
And that's the secret to happiness.
That's why we're so happy. Yay! Let's do meth.
I saw this meme, that I was obsessed with, and it was like a photo, like somebody took a picture of like a kid's book, and it was one of those like kids books with like just nonsense words, and it was kind of Richard Scarry style like animation, and it was like this cat, and this cat was like a trash man, or like he had like a dumpster, and it was like he wasn't called Trash Cat, but it was something like Trash Man Cat picks up his trash with his trash machine, and like and he had this machine, and he was like, and he buries the trash deep down in the ground. And the meme was like, this is me with my emotions. Burying the trash deep inside.
Compartmentalization. We talked about this already today. Sometimes you have to bury shit. Because you can't walk around with your heart on your sleeve if your heart's broken into a million pieces.
It's the only way to live, y'all.
Because if your heart's broken, it will fall off your sleeve.
Yes, girl, and duct tape and free.
Girl, no, it's not. It's expensive. Okay, speaking of expensive. Oh, you know who my favorite character is. Wait, do you know who my favorite character is in the Chronicles of Narnia? I've told you, but you may have forgotten. It won't hold against you.
You like Edmund.
I do like Edmund. I didn't even give you a hint. You really did know that. Okay, let me tell you. The guy who plays Edmund in these movies, I love. Mm-hmm. He's only 2 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. So I just put that out there right now. I know he's young in the movies, but y'all, he's done grown up. Mm-hmm. He's still sexy as fuck. And he has never done any other movies since Narnia.
Can you tell me what his name is so I can look at him?
It's a bit of a strange name. Skandar, Skandar, Keynes, Keynes. I just fucking love him. Edmund is my favorite character in the books.
What a great name.
It's a good name. That's why he didn't do any more movies. He said, I've had enough. He said, I got this name. Does he look good?
He looks fine.
Oh, maybe. Let me find a good picture, because I saw one. Ooh! 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 He's so... Oh,
Was it this one?
Okay, he's not the most photogenic person, okay? And most of these pictures are really old, too, because, obviously...
So some
of these are horrible.
So he just, like, didn't do any other movies?
No, he hasn't done anything
So he did Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and he was like, thanks for nothing?
Kind of. Well, but then they decided not to do any more movies, so... He's a bit younger, but that's a good picture.
Yeah, okay.
You see, he grew into a fine man.
Sure.
But then, you look through, and you see a picture like this, and you think, oh, maybe not, though. I don't know.
Well,
he's not the most
photos are hard.
Photos are hard, and you know what? If I met him in real life, I would embarrass myself, because I think he is sexy. Not in this picture, but sometimes.
You crazy.
I also frankly, honestly, that guy who plays Peter is real good looking too, but I just fucking love Edmund. He's always been my favorite.
I know you do.
He fails really hard, and then he picks his ass up, and just like I said earlier, in this book, Lucy's also a winner, but Lucy's always perfect.
Yeah.
Edmund is like the only one in her corner. Consistently. And then the next book, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, he's a fucking badass. So, like, good for you, Edmund. That's all I have to say.
I love that you like Edmund so much. I always had just like, he would get on my nerves, but like I understand the qualities about him that you really like.
Yeah,
and I
he
think
gets
that's really
his
sweet.
redemption, you know?
He does.
Whereas in the movies, Peter goes from great to shit. He's shit in this movie. Okay, so other things that were added, the White Witch reappearing. Do you remember that cameo?
They love a cameo.
They do love a cameo. You know, I have to be honest with you, I love that cameo too. I liked it. I love the White Witch. I think she's horrifying and sexy and amazing. And I think it makes sense to me that they would try to bring her back. And the thing is, they do try in the books, but they just don't get anywhere near as far as they get in the movies. But, you know, I'm of the opinion, I know other people disagree, when we get to the silver chair, I'm sorry, I have something in my eye, I'm like dying. When we get to the silver chair, we meet another witch. And my opinion is that they're all the same woman. Some people disagree with that, but it's my opinion.
Yeah.
So I like this, what my point is, I like the fact that we see her come back to life in this movie, because in my headcanon, she never dies.
Right.
And she just, like, reappears. Basic places around Narnia. Okay, so that was something added. There are a bunch of boring political scenes that really drag down the movie with Mraz.
Yes.
Those are all added, except for one at the end. There's one in the book, but there's like 9 in the movie.
So excessive.
Why?
People think longer is better sometimes. Like, you need more content, and it just is not the truth.
It's a veto. Not if the hour you're giving me is full of dour, sour, dark, and dank content, which it is in this case. And then, girl, let me look up so you can see this stupid-ass werewolf costume in this movie. I'm literally Googling stupid-ass werewolf, Prince Caspian. This horrible ass costume. They spent all their money on some other special effect. I'll tell you what.
I swear to God, if you pull this up and it's like me in my wedding dress, you are dead to me.
Oh, I wish I had. I wish I had. I want to get a picture of... Actually, this is a good picture of it. No, I can't find a good picture. God, I wish I had pulled up a picture of you. That would have been funny. I did that last episode. But it's just like a fluffy, muffy, fucking brown Muppet outfit.
Is it just like an outfit from Cats?
Yes, my queen. It's like a fucking comforter that they've wrapped around his body. The face looks good. Like the head looks like a werewolf. But the body is just like a muffy, duffy, fluffy thing. It looks horrible. And here's the thing. In the books, it's a man, a thin, real thin, gray-skinned man with the head of a wolf, but the body of a man. I think
that's an effective look.
I think that's frightening to me.
Yeah.
And so I think if they wanted it to be dark and grim and dour and sour,
do that.
Do that. Don't give me this fluffy Muppet of a werewolf.
They're like, or what if it was like a broomstick with a sock?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which is essentially what it is. It's so tacky and cheesy. Though, to be fair, they made the hag look really good. Remember, she's got like a bird face? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm going to pull that up for you because this is some cool makeup. They don't really describe the hag in the book. Oh, yeah. Look at this bitch.
Let's look at this bitch.
Another time I should have just brought the picture. It's too late now.
Yeah.
Doesn't she look scary?
She does.
And to my knowledge, they added all of this like bird-like effects. She's got like a scary beak and like she just
that's
does
the stuff of nightmares.
She
Also,
don't look right.
I like that they provided for you this one you found on like a transparent background so that you can like casually drop it into photos.
This is some clip art right here, my queen.
So good.
That's some clip art. Okay, so they made her look good. Oh, and then last, a fucking Regina Spektor song over the closing scene.
I think music choices can like make or break a moment, and that's a interesting choice.
It just I love Regina Spektor. Who doesn't? I think pretty much everyone.
Yeah, she's
her music's
universally
amazing.
Great.
It is not the right choice for the epic finale of a Chronicles of Narnia movie. It's just wrong. It's just horrible. I literally cringed. I cringed when it came on.
Yeah.
And then I turned that shit off immediately because that hour and a half debacle was over.
I'm just really proud that you did that and that you paid $2.99 on Amazon.
Well, you know what? I have to be honest with you. I had $1 credit because I picked no rush shipping for something I was buying.
Oh, they give you a credit for that?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes there'll be a credit for that. It'll be a credit for like Prime, like food options or something.
I need that.
But so technically I only paid $1.99. But even that was $1.99 too much.
Still, girl, you'll never get that money back.
Girl, or that time. Though, I did figure something out, Morgan. I think you're going to like this.
Okay.
Prince Caspian is actually quite similar in some ways to the Two Towers. Did you clock this similarity?
I mean, no. You
didn't see it? Okay, so we're starting from the first most obvious thing. In the Two Towers, of course, we have the Ents and the living trees, and they attack Isengard and do all this stuff. In Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, we've got the living wood and the dryads, and also randomly Bacchus and Selenius and his whole group of Maenads. His crazy drunken ladies.
You just say it over and over.
His orgy ladies. Now I can't remember how to say it, but it doesn't matter. Bacchus and his friends, Dionysus, they are all kind of like the same role that the Ents play in the Two Towers.
Okay.
They're kind of like the resurgence of nature. And in both cases, that untamed nature fucking wins. Mm-hmm. The trees at the end of Prince Caspian fucking take out the Telemarines.
Which, not shocking.
And who gives a shit? Anyway. Fucking hate the Telemarines. Okay, so that's one big similarity. And then you remember when I think in the books it's Treebeard, but in the movie it's just some rando Ent. When that Ent walks up to that old dam at Isengard.
Oh, and busts it.
And he says, Brrrt! Yeah. Okay, the exact same thing happens in Prince Caspian, except the river god rises up from the Straits of Baruna.
Okay.
Baruna River. And there's a big bridge that the Telmarines have, like, you know, they've tamed the river by building a bridge over it. And that fucking river god, he destroyed that shit. He stood up, he held that river on his shoulders. And then that bridge was up there, and then that bridge fell in half. And then there was one Telmarine who was on a horse still. I forget his name, but he was a bad guy. And that river god done ate him.
It happens to so many people every year. It happens
to a lot of people.
Like 30 people.
The ring race happened to the ring race.
It did, though. That was really
fucking ravenous
satisfying.
horses.
Yeah.
Think about the ring race. That was so hard for them, Morgan. Wow, you're so cruel.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like sort of undead.
Yeah,
so
but they
like,
lost their horses. They're undead steeds.
Mm-hmm. They'll be fine.
You're so rude.
I am, though.
You are. You're the rudest. Okay, so we've got the living woods. We've got the living water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is the big one. This really drives it home. Do you I don't know if you remember, but Miraz, the uncle of Prince Caspian, the usurper, he is stabbed by one of his followers, whose name is Caspian? I don't know. It's a hard name. But it's one of his, like, lackey followers, right?
Okay.
Another Telmarine. Yeah. Remember, he's fighting Peter, and then Peter gets the best of him, kind of, and he falls. I think in the movie, Peter kills him. But in the book, he, like, Miraz is, like, fighting, and then he trips and, like, falls on his face. And Peter, being a gentleman, like, steps back to let him stand up, which is, like, so lame. He should just stab him.
Annoying.
Which is what he does in the movie. In the movie, he just fucking stabs him. But in the book, he, like, steps back so he can stand up. And then what the fuck is this guy's name? Caspian. That's a fucked up name. he goes down to help him up, and he stabs him in the back. Because he wants to be the next king.
Well, who done?
And that's the guy who gets eaten by the river, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so can you think of anyone in the Two Towers who gets stabbed in the back by a lackey?
I mean, are you talking about the Greenweir Wormtongue stuff?
Yeah. Just like Saruman gets stabbed by Wormtongue.
Yes.
Miraz gets stabbed by his little lackey.
Yes.
And in both cases, Saruman and Miraz represent modernity, sort of raping nature, taking what you need.
That's fascinating.
They're very similar books in that way, man. Plus, they're both battle-centric. And you know they were friends. My
wheels are really turning right now.
I really think, honestly, I started pulling this together and I was like, Mick Parker, you're on to something. You need to write your doctoral thesis on this.
Yeah.
They really are quite similar. And you have to think, too, they were written around the same time. We know that Lewis and Tolkien were friends. Mm-hmm, so, like, is it a coincidence? I think probably not. But when did this came out in 1951? When did the Two Towers come out?
Great question.
Bet I can beat you.
Bet you can too, because you're trying harder.
I am. What? No, it's because I am naturally. I'm just good.
No, it's the other.
No,
thing.
It's the truth.
I think it's the thing that I said.
No.
Well, that's really interesting. And it's also like the protagonists are children in Caspian, and the protagonists of The Lord of the Rings, I mean, the hobbits are childlike in, like, their nature and their stature as well. So there are some through lines.
The Two Towers came out in 1954, the year of my mom's birth. I knew that, actually. This came out in 1951, but you know Tolkien was working on it.
Totally, yeah.
So, I think it's not at all unlikely that these two works were born in a similar petri dish, you know? They're very similar. Plus, this is just a rando thing, but, you know, Weta, who we love from Lord of the Rings movies, they had a hand in the props and the armor and the special effects for Prince Caspian.
Oh, did they?
That's another little rando thing, and the armor looks great. The costumes are gorgeous.
Yeah, except for that werewolf thing.
They did not do that werewolf. I'll tell you what, there's no way Party City did that werewolf.
It's actually just the bottom half of the Chuck E. Cheese costume.
Oh, but anyway, okay, so that's all my spiel about Prince Caspian. It's not very good, but you have to read it to get to the Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
And that's the way it works. Like, and we were just talking about that when we were talking about, like, the Marvel stuff. Like, every piece of it is, like, a rite of passage and, like, a piece of the puzzle. So it's, like, everything is so integral. And it's still, like, worth reading and being a part of because it helps you form opinions, like, greater opinions on the characters as a whole. Like, you get this really new version of Susan a new thing you can help form an opinion to solidify that she sucks.
She sucks.
Just
so
more
bad.
information on that.
And you know what I'd say is I would say definitely if you haven't read the book or you haven't reread it, maybe you want to, hey, we're doing an episode on every single book. So if you want to reread Chronicles of Narnia, now's a good time to do it.
Totally.
I would say honestly, do not waste your time on the movie. The movie's not good at all.
Crazy.
It's not good at all. But the book is serviceable. It's just compared to the others, it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But it's a fine book. And it's a fast read. You read that shit in 2.5 hours, girl. Just sit down and fly through it. Those words are like 6 inches tall.
Children's book.
Children's books. So, Morgie, are you going to run or walk to go watch the movie?
I am going to see how long you have left on your rental, and if it is 0 minutes, then I will do nothing.
Oh, that's all. It's only $2.99.
I don't know. It was just my plan was to not do that.
Yeah, and you want a footlong cheese coney, too.
Oh, my God. I would, though,
Sometimes
now.
when I get drunk, I want a footlong cheese coney.
Yeah.
That's like my drunk food. I don't know why.
That fucking Sonic food.
Girl.
My nemesis.
That's
my
good.
Nemesis.
And an ocean water.
So, you've told us that Prince Caspian falls pretty low into your totem
It's the
pole.
Morgan of Narnia movies.
Okay, well, that's rude, but and hurtful. I'm not sure how to handle it.
Oh.
How do you feel about Don Treader, the next installment?
Oh, that's my favorite.
So this is an exciting time for you. So you're going to be starting that book soon, or have you already started
I've already started it.
Oh.
I read it at night before, like as I'm trying to fall asleep. And if you thought I was a lot on this episode, girl, you wait till Dawn Treader.
Girl.
Morgan, I would say you should just bring some s'mores to keep your mouth busy, because I'm going to be twacking.
That'll be a great episode to pull in the magician's connections, because Lev Grossman borrowed really heavily from the Dawn Treader sort of mythos for a lot of things that happened in the back half of the Magician series.
Heck yes. Once they get on that fucking ship, what's the ship called?
I can't remember.
Oh, fuck no, I know it. Now I won't be able to live. Let me just look it up.
Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember.
It's called the Munchjack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Duh. Yo.
Yes.
Munchjack.
Yeah. So they're Don Treader.
And we'll be doing some new Magicians episodes soon, because that season's going to be coming on streaming soon.
So soon, I bet.
Yeah, because
I've been keeping up with it.
Its run, right?
Yeah. I think so.
So yeah, it should be coming soon.
Yeah, we've got a lot to catch up on. Man, there's so many great things to do and see out there, and the Prince Caspian movie's not one of them.
No, it's not.
So don't.
Do you have a good plug for this week, though, Morgie?
I...
You could just plug me. I'm a winner.
No, I got something better.
Fuck you.
I finished reading the Crazy Rich Asians trilogy, the last one, Rich People Problems. I just fucking love that book series. I think that it's like not only like a great totem and testament to like Asian culture, but I think it's deeply hilarious. Like I think it's so funny in the way that it exemplifies these like rich fucking people and like the plight of their lives, which is like self-imposed and like non-existent otherwise. Yeah. They create like all of their own drama and problems. And it was wonderful and lovely, and I feel like more informed, and also like it's just, to me, like good comedy, good dramedy. The first one was a good rom-com. The second and third one was less. There was not a lot of rom going on. It was mostly like dram and com. Well, yeah, it focuses on like other members of the family. Like later on, yeah. So like different people are like.
Does her friend stay in it? Because I love that funny friend.
Peglin. Yeah, she's in it some, and then she's in the third one like a bit more too.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's still a background character.
Interesting. Can I ask? Maybe you can't answer because it might be a spoiler. Who's it focus on in the second and third? Like which family members? Have we met them
yeah,
already?
It's not too big of a spoiler. You've met everyone that you follow. You have met, but for example, in the did you watch the movie?
I sure did.
So the movie Crazy Rich Asians, like they have like a big wedding that they like, a big family wedding or whatever. It's like a central plot, and like all the families there for that, and there's one of the family members, a cousin, Nick, who is like the main character. It's like Rachel and Nick are the main characters of the first one. Okay. Nick's extended family is the Crazy Rich Asian family. Okay. And one of his cousins brings a date to a wedding. And it's really like a lot of family drama, because she used to be like a soap opera star, and she's kind of like trash and tabloids and like whatever. And she becomes a main character. Oh. And she like
she's in the first movie, right?
You just meet her. You meet a glimpse of her.
She's like a mess with long hair, like a long ponytail.
Yeah, I think so. And then she becomes like a main, like her storyline she wants to turn her life around and be like accepted in high society. And she like doesn't marry Nick's cousin, but she marries another billionaire. And so she like uses his money to like buy a consultant to help her be accepted into society. And so you follow her journey, and then she dumps him and marries like a richer person. And like, so she has this journey across a couple books where she's like trying to like have a place in society. And it's kind of like, is she ever going to get there? Because deep at heart, she's still like a trash soap opera star, but she's like, but I want to be respected like a queen. And it's really fun and fabulous to watch.
I'm so shocked that's who she chose to focus on the second book.
Actually, the cover of the second book, which was called something else. The third one's called Rich People Problems.
Insane, wealthy.
Man.
Insane.
China rich girlfriend.
Okay.
So that girl is the China rich girlfriend. Her name's Kitty. So the cover of that book is a picture of like a really fancy lady with two like poodles on like a diamond leash.
I've seen it. Okay, yeah.
That's her.
Oh.
That's like an image of her from the book being like, I'm a bitch coming up. And so she's like too flashy at first, and people are like, you need to tone it down. Like she needs help to like, be classy. But she's so fabulous. I love Hater. She's a horrible person, but I love her.
She's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Does the gay cousin come in more? The one who was played by, who we love. Nico? Is that his name? Nico?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's around and like,
he just doesn't.
There's some family stuff and he's like a part of the family, but he doesn't become one of the main characters. There was Nick's cousin Astrid, who had the drama with her husband, who was like
Nico Santos. That's his name.
Yeah, no, he's not. But the cousin Astrid has a new storyline with her husband. They had some turmoil, and like her family didn't accept her husband. And then, anyways, her storyline.
Is Astrid the one who has that shitty husband who's all like, "Boo-hoo, you're rich and great"?
Yeah, that one.
I hate him.
Yeah.
He's very attractive.
So she has a lot of storyline moving forward. So she becomes more of a main character.
She seems very likable, and the mom, I assume, continues to be a character.
Eleanor is around, and she continues to play a pivotal role, but like Nick and Rachel just aren't the main characters anymore, so like she's not quite as prominent, but they're all still there because it's like this huge extended family.
Can I tell you the most embarrassing racist thing I did recently?
Yes, please.
I was at an Oscars party. By the way, we should talk about the Oscars at some point, because that shit did not turn out how we expected.
That thing was crazy! The world was like, say what?
She said, what? And I saw that actress who plays the mom in Crazy Rich Asians.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up so I can say her name, because I know her name. I just can't remember
I can't remember it. I know Constance Wu plays Rachel, but I can't remember who plays Eleanor Young.
Anyway, so this woman came on screen, and I recognized her, because obviously... Wait, Constance Wu plays Rachel.
Yes.
Okay. Eleanor is the name of the mom. Michelle Yeoh.
Okay.
Who isn't she from... Tiger Dragon, Fighting Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Oh my god, yeah, maybe. Wow,
sure
I never made that connection.
That's... Oh, and she's Star Trek Discovery. She's the captain!
Whoa.
Oh, I just orgasmed. I forgot about that. Okay, let me just make sure. Anyway, do you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I don't, but it's one of those things I should.
Okay, you should. It's pretty good. There is an actress on there called Ming-Na Wen. And she plays one of the agents, Agent May. I'm just going to make sure I'm not lying, okay? Because, I'm already scared about being racist.
You're already stepping out, putting yourself out there.
I am. I'm putting myself out there, trying not to embarrass myself. Anyway, so the mom, Michelle Yeoh, came on. And I was like, oh, that's Ming-Na Wen. I love her. She's great on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she is in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, by the way. And then someone was like, I don't think that's who you think it is. And I was like, no, that's definitely her. Like, I know what she looks like. I love her. I'm a huge fan of hers. Wasn't fucking her at all.
Oh, man, I hate that.
But you know what? In that moment, you know what you fucking do? Is you say, that's embarrassing. I was accidentally racist. I hope everyone can forgive me. I'm just going to try and move on from this situation. And then you just fucking move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone makes a mistake.
Yeah, everybody makes mistakes. White people be like, nah. I didn't mean it like that. How was I supposed to know? They all look alike. Now you really said something racist. Now you got caught saying something racist. Girl, I can't find this bitch now. She's hiding from me, sure enough.
Well, if she's a really good agent, then
she's so good.
Could not be found.
Wait, oh, okay, well. That's probably true.
Okay, first of all, I was doing that for you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for trying to save my fucking dumpster fire of a life.
Oh my god, my pleasure.
Oh yeah, that is her name. Ming Na Wen. This is who I confused her with. And I do think they actually look alike, to be fair.
Oh yeah, they have a very similar, like, facial pattern.
Yeah, like their facial structure is similar.
Oh, totally.
Fuck, well, my computer just died.
Oh no.
Yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, okay. So your plug is books 2 and 3 of the Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, just check out the whole trilogy. Yeah.
It sounds good, honestly.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what.
Good. It's funny.
That rom-com made me fucking cry. So,
yeah,
you know
it was good. It was a good story.
So I am plugging something else that made me cry recently. It is Sex Education, Season 1, on Netflix. Morgie, have you watched it?
Not yet.
Give up. Just give up then.
Aww.
You're done. You're done.
I have so many things to watch, though.
There's a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe. Let me tell you, first of all, Agent Scully, what's her name from X-Files? Agent Scully.
Yeah.
Not Mulder, but Scully.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever her name is, that actress.
She's in it?
She plays the mom.
Oh,
she's
sex therapist?
A thin, blonde, fabulous sexual sex therapist of a mother to a teenage son who's the protagonist. And she's so fucking amazing. What's her goddamn name?
I have no
We know
idea.
her name. Well, my computer just died, so I can't
I wasn't great at I didn't love the X-Files. It wasn't during my time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you were born in 1997. Bitch, please.
I was born in the year 2000.
Okay. Is that a real song?
No.
Kill me. Okay,
No.
good. Anyway, she's amazing as the mom. There's the main boy who's really cute and just sweet. There's a guy who has a huge cock. Love it. There is a gay best friend. Mm-hmm. There's a bad girl love interest. Mm-hmm. And the whole idea, of course, of the TV show is this kid starts giving out sex therapy advice to his classmates for various reasons, right? But he's relatively good at it. And so it's about, like, the sex education, his own, because he's got his own problems, but also him educating his teenage, what's the word? Schoolmates, classmates, about sex. And it's like super real. Bad shit happens. Good shit happens. Some sexy shit happens. That main guy with the big dick, I'm obsessed with.
Ooh.
So hot. And there's a bunch. It's really good. It's powerful.
It's gotten a lot of good buzz. It's like definitely, I put it in my queue as soon as like I heard about it. And I like, as soon as I make the time, it feels like a good one. Do you think the episodes are good lengths?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. They're longer than one. I know you like a shorter episode. I think they're a bit longer than that. But honestly, it's one of those shows, I don't know if you would ever do this, but you can honestly pause it anytime.
Nice.
Hardly, it's just, binge it at your own pace.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I binged it all in one day.
Nice.
I got into it and I just didn't want it to end.
I wonder if they got renewed.
I think it's
gotten really positive
I'm pretty
reviews.
certain it
Yeah.
did. Yeah. So watch season 1. It's streaming right now on Netflix. It's worth it. Honestly,
Awesome.
I bucked it. People were like, go watch this immediately. And I was like, I'm an individual. I'll watch what I want. I should have watched it when it came out.
Oh,
really
nice.
It's really good.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
So check out Sex Education, all the Crazy Rich Asian shit. And while you're already doing internet-related things, you might as well like Beauty and the Bitch on all of our social medias.
Yes. Well, let's see. We got Instagrams.
Uh-huh.
And you got an Instagram.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. You find me at Morganized Mess, y'all.
Oh, yeah. And then we've got a YouTube channel.
Oh, man. And we have every single episode on there.
Why you lying, Morgan?
All right. You're right.
Why you lying
We're missing
right
just
now?
that one
We're missing
episode.
that one episode
It's
that just disappeared.
embarrassing.
Let's see, we got a blog.
Oh, yeah. B&B.
No, you do it.
No, say it at the same time.
Okay.
bnbcast.wordpress.com.
Oh, trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
You can find us there.
You can. If you're having trouble finding us on your podcast app for whatever reason, you can always go to our blog, and there's what's it called? A feed.
An RSS
right
feed.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, we have a new XTube channel.
Yeah, our old one got shut down because it was too risque.
Really? XTube?
Yeah. Really?
Wow.
Thanks.
So in our new episode, what I'm doing is I'm packing peanut butter into a condom and then freezing it.
Yeah.
And then I'm fucking myself with it, but not in the butt.
Yeah. I feel like I don't even understand.
and it's chunky.
Oh, it's the one with the nuts in it. That makes sense. That's really cool. That's really cool. So just like really good, free, fun, just good, healthy family fun. Bring your kids.
Beauty and the Bitch on next too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, we love you.
We love you. Bye, babies. Get away from my crunchy peanut butter dildo. Back the fuck up.
Do you have a home? Beauty in the Bitch. You look. Bitch. Beauty in the Bitch. Beauty in the Bitch. 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 You're bye.